Offensive coordinator Tony Elliott.
Tony, Gary McDaniel, Clemson Sports News. Just wanted you to go over your second team and third team quarterback today and what you saw in those guys.
Right. Pleased with DJ when he got in there, was able to put together, some scoring drives. A little bit tougher situation with Tyson. Had some different personnel, that he was working with, and really won't know until you evaluate the tape, so you can see all the details. But the biggest thing with both of those guys in that second half, really want to challenge those guys. Thought we had a couple of good drives there, but we didn't finish off with points. And I think that the expectation for us offensively is that every drive ends with a kick, and preferably that's not a punt. So, won't be able to truly, assess and really don't want to speak off of emotion right now. But I thought that, DJ had an opportunity to put together a scoring drive there a couple times, and it just didn't work out for Tyson. And again, some of it might not have been his fault.
Hey, Tony, Lawton Swan with Clemson Sports Talk. You look at the first half of action, you're up 49-0 at the break. What's the mentality like coming out after the half and what we saw from the offensive standpoint?
The mentality is, and really challenged all those guys, is that the expectation doesn't change. I think that externally we don't really worry about external influences, but the expectation is it doesn't matter if we're down offensive lineman, we're down a running back. People are still going to expect Clemson to be Clemson, and that's just the mindset we're trying to create with all these guys, especially in that second half, is that we want to come out and we want to put together drives, we want to go score points, and it's a great opportunity for us to teach, especially these young guys. That's two games in a row where a lot of the younger guys got an opportunity to play, and we still haven't been able to finish off drives and put it in the end zone. So really proud of the first unit. But coming out at halftime, the challenge was that protect the quarterback, make sure we take care of the ball, make sure we score points, and unfortunately we weren't able to hit on those goals in that second half, which would give us a great opportunity over the open week to develop our team by being able to coach the details off the tape.
Tony, this is Gene in Charleston. Where do you think Trevor's improved on the most from last year to this year?
Right, I just think overall just being consistent. I can only think of one play, which was the sack in the first drive of the first game, where you'd like to see him make just truly a better decision. But he's just been consistent, man. He's locked in. He's owning the plan. He's got the details down. So he's just what you would expect from a third-year guy in a system. Is that now he's just in complete control, and now he's out there, one step ahead of everybody because one, he's got the skill, but now he's got complete control and understands all the details. So I just say overall for Trevor, it's just being consistent, at a high level to match the talent that he has.
Tony, this is Matt with the State. I know we talked about it at the time and in the spring as well, but just what did you see from Trevor against LSU that led to some of those struggles with his accuracy, and how did he correct that? I mean, he seems like he's at a whole new level as far as accuracy right now.
Well, I think, LSU, that wasn't all on Trevor. I can think of early on in the first couple of drives, we get him hit from a back, missing a blitz pickup, that can get a quarterback unsettled at times. And, then we were up 17-7, and they started coming back, and we started pressing a little bit, probably got away from the run game. So I wouldn't put it all on Trevor, but I know that Trevor's a competitor, and so he's going to go study himself. And what I've seen is that he's not trying to press, and he's not trying to, play above, a certain level. He's just trying to meet that high level of play, and he understands to do that, you got to be consistent. So I don't know if there's anything in particular that you can point to other than a true competitor. He tips his hat when he gets defeated, and then he figures out what he can do better, and he focuses on that, and he develops a discipline to be able to play consistently at that level so that he doesn't put himself in a situation again.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Tony, it's Anna with Clemson 24/7. We know the second team offensive line is young, obviously, but just how difficult does that make what you want to do with the backups on offense when that offensive line is still really just learning how to play together?
Right. I think it's more of a challenge from the defensive perspective and what they're doing on defense, that makes it a little bit more difficult. They get the same reps in practice as the first unit with the game plan. So you don't change a whole lot. It's just, okay, what's the variance of what they're seeing, defensively? Because, again, when you go into a short week or a game week, you only got 4 practices. And, again, not everything is going to, resemble what they saw back in camp. And so there's some things that they're still learning on the run. And again, I can't wait to watch the tape because I don't feel like it was all on the offensive line. I think there were a lot of other positions that just didn't execute at the right time. And that's an offensive football. Offensive football is 11 guys on the same page and having a sameness and a oneness of mind to be able to go out and execute. So I'm excited to see the tape and give us an opportunity. But I'd say probably defensive structure is probably more of a challenge than the game plan because they do get exposure to the game plan throughout the course of the week.
Tony, Lou Bezek from the state. I'm Frank Ladson today, and just his development as from his freshman year until now and going forward.
Huge for him because he's a guy that we know is very, very talented. Just needs opportunities and through those opportunities to develop consistency. And I think that's going to help his confidence. So it's good for him to come out and make some plays. I couldn't tell from up in the box, but it looked like he took that first touchdown away from the defender. Then he was able to come back on a slant and go and convert for another touchdown there. So it's going to be huge. And he's a guy that that we had high expectations from, and unfortunately he was hit with the protocol situation during camp, and so missed some reps. But it's good to see him going because that gives us a lot of flexibility when you got him and Joe into the boundary, or you can get him and Joe on the field at the same time.
Tony, I got here a little late. I'm sorry if you already answered this, but just what was the biggest thing with the backup offense that you saw that needed to be improved? Well,
biggest thing is we turned the ball over twice. Didn't execute on third down. We had a big drop. There was a situation where going through a progression, we got to a progression late, so we had to flush and scramble there in a long yards third down situation. So it's just one guy here, one guy there, but again it's all 11 at the same time. Executing in order to be successful. So biggest thing is, in my opinion, that we didn't convert on third down, and then we had the turnovers there that really, really stalled us, and then we weren't able to get into a true rhythm. And again, there's a lot of guys playing in a lot of different spots, and it's tough to maybe get some continuity going, but still the expectation is, in this game right here, make sure that you go out and execute and put yourself in position to score points.
Hey Tony, I'm sure those red zone rushes with ETN are not necessarily designed more reads, but I mean, do you have some concern after 2 weeks with your ability to power the ball into the end zone?
Do I have some concerns? No, sir. No, sir, not. I don't. And again, I think Travis is getting back going. He's getting back in the groove of things. Being able to see things, find things. And again, so I don't have a concern there. And I know there were some situations too, especially in the game where we were trying to force the issue, try to pound it in there, and they might have had us outnumbered, just expecting Travis or Trevor when they pull the ball to run a guy over. So I don't have big concerns because then we got in there and obviously I know DJ was running the ball, but still it was great push up front in those goal line and short yard situations when he ran the ball. So not overly concerned right now.
Hey Tony,
I think we had the same issue a couple years ago versus Georgia Southern. Just trying to force the issue, develop some mindset and some mental toughness, and we were able to overcome that throughout the rest of the season and have success.
Hey, Tony, at halftime, you guys had 33 combined snaps and 49 points on the board. I know you guys look at these games and try to get as many snaps so you can get some participation numbers to look at and some film to look at. But have you guys ever had a game where you saw that much point production out of so little snap time?
I can't think of one. And again, I know we pride ourselves on trying to drive the snap count up. That's part of the DNA of this offense being a tempo system. But another thing, we want to be as explosive. And so, I think the objective is to get the ball in the end zone. If it takes 1 play or 10 plays, as long as we get the ball in the end zone. So really proud of the first unit, just being prepared, clicking on all cylinders and putting points. And we got some help there too. Skowski scored a touchdown for us on defense, but I haven't been around a situation where we scored. And I think that's, the first time in Coach Sweeney's era here as the head coach where we scored 49 points in a half. So definitely pleased with the explosiveness, and we'll have our opportunities down the stretch to put together some longer drives.
Hey, Tony, Anna again. Just how much of a weapon is DJ in those short yardage goal line situations?
I think naturally because of his size, but he was able to show it in live situations. Obviously in practice, he wears a purple jersey. We're not able to put him in those tough situations. You always want to protect the quarterback in practice, but definitely very reminiscent to Taj. I think he's probably the closest to that style of runner, that we've had in the last several years. So it's going to be fun down the stretch and in the years to come to design some stuff and kind of get back to our roots of that kind of quarterback running game.
Hey, Tony, this is Grace with The Athletic. Just with the backups, how much of that is just normal growing pains, and how much of it do you think could be a product of the spring being cut short? Obviously, we're in a pandemic, that kind of stuff.
Right. A lot of the good thing for majority of the young offensive linemen and the young guys that came in the spring, we got 9 practices in, so they got a good dose of the installation. I think it's just growing pains, and what our message was to the guys in the locker room is that the game is different. The practice field, yes, playing time is earned on the practice field, but there's a different level of intensity, a different level of attention to detail, and the speed of the game is a little bit different once you get to a game time situation. And then you got everything else going on. You got the people in the stands, the music's loud, so it's just a totally different environment that I think it's more so growing pains than being attributed to not getting the practices over there. Because again, we actually got a lot more teaching opportunity with the film sessions that we got over the pandemic, and we got a lot of walkthroughs and a lot of things that we didn't have in prior seasons. So it's more growing pains. Just those guys just got to get experience.
Just a couple more questions.
Again, I know normally during a bye week in the season, you would kind of go back and do some self-scouting and that kind of stuff. Just with the bye coming so early and only 2 games, does that change as far as what you guys want to get accomplished next
No,
week?
we're always going to make sure that we study ourselves. And again, we won't have as big of a sample size as we normally do with a later open date, but it's a great opportunity. We can get a peek at any tendencies that we have. Obviously, a tougher situation, too, with Virginia not having as many games as us, so we won't get our first look at them until I believe it's next week. So we'll focus on ourselves. We'll get a head start on Virginia. And still just try to use this opportunity to grow our team because we're going to need everybody, especially in this environment where it's week to week. We're going to need everybody, playing at the highest level they can in order for us to be successful down the stretch. I'm good?
Yep.
All right. Thank you.